Good morning and welcome to Inside Oakwood with Dr. Leslie Pollard. We have a fantastic crew on for our live broadcast today. We're going to be talking about Oakwood Adventist Academy. So, Dr. Pollard, good morning to you
Hey, good
again.
morning, Donna. Good morning, and good morning to all of our colleagues and friends from Oakwood Adventist Academy. Good morning.
Good
Good morning.
morning.
Good morning.
We are so delighted to have you here this morning. We want to welcome you to Inside Oakwood, and this is one of the richest partnerships, Donna, that we have really in the Oakwood universe. People talk about the Marvel universe. Well, the Oakwood universe is our alumni, our friends, and especially all of our partner institutions. And there's none more significant than our relationship to Oakwood Adventist Academy right here on the campus. Uh, Tremendous asset in terms of reaching young people with the message of Christian education. It's just amazing. So we're very grateful this morning to be interviewing not only the chairman of the board, Dr. Everett Roper, but also we're also happy to have, of course, our Principal Judy Chiles-Dent. And then we've got some of our star students, Mr. Raynon Andrews, Miss Caleigh Byrd, Miss Eryn Roper, and then Miss Jewel Hairston. We've got just an array of guests who are here today, and it's going to be really, really wonderful. So today we are talking about Adventist Christian education and the journey that Oakwood Adventist Academy has experienced through this pandemic. We spent a lot of time talking about what the university, but we've been partners in this. I'm looking at Principal Dent now. We started meeting once a week. Remember, Judy? We were meeting and
Yes.
trying to plan how to do this together as a campus, and it worked out. But it worked us,
Mhm.
right? It
Yeah.
worked out and it worked us all at the same time. So that's what we're here to talk about today. That's what we're here to talk about.
That's a good way to think about it. You worked it out, but it worked you. It worked you good. So
Yeah.
we are so glad that everything did work out for Oakwood Adventist Academy. So first of all, we just want to congratulate the Academy and our principal here. Principal Dent is with us. So just tell us, first of all, how that year went for you. I mean, went a little bit of half of maybe the end of the year before and then the full year this year. How did that go for you? Because you were also brought in as the new principal around the same time.
I was always reminded by Dr. Roper that such a time as this, that the Lord will place a certain person at this school where we needed. And we never knew we were going to run into a pandemic. And when we began this process, I want to thank Dr. Leslie Pollard. We had never had this chance to get together so closely to put plans together for our students, the safety of our students. And when Dr. Pollard brought me on board with the committee, as well as our superintendent of school and our Dr. Roper, some of the anxiety went away, but at the same time, we shared documents. We shared what the CDC was telling us. We talked together and we put a seamless document together to ensure that our community, our students, our faculty were clear on the expectations. And we put those expectations in place. We shared it with our board. Our board understood the direction we were going, and we implemented it. And we moved forward with making sure, and like Dr. Pollard said, it wore us out, but we're here and we're praising God that there was a covering over this institution that held us together, because there was a lot of work, day-to-day work, especially with K-12 in place, minor children, to make sure that they were safe and to make sure our parents knew that they were safe.
Wow. So Principal Dent, I do want to spend a few more minutes with you because, like I said, you just came on as the new principal right before the pandemic hit. But you have a history at Oakwood University, but you just moved back. And tell us how all of this came about. And did you ever think you would be, after retirement, be a principal again? Tell us about your history and everything.
I'll tell you a quick 50 years ago, when I started at Oakwood College
Yes.
in 1967,
Mm.
when I experienced the campus, I fell in love with it. A little girl from Oakland, California.
Mm.
And I knew it was a special place. And I asked God then, Lord, I don't know where you're going to take me in this journey, but when I retire, I want to return to Huntsville, Alabama, on the campus of Oakwood University. Had no idea, went through private school, worked in the church school for 17 years, 25 years in the public school as principal, vice principal. Went from there, the Lord took me to superintendent of Allegheny East Conference. And then after that, as soon as that 5-year term was up, I had my moving van. It was in my spirit, telling my blessed husband,
Wow.
I'm on my way because God is directing me to Huntsville, Alabama.
Amen.
So when we arrived here, minding my business at one of the graduations, Dr. Roper, Superintendent Holliday, Pastor Byrd grabbed me and said, would you consider coming to Oakwood Adventist Academy as an interim? Because they didn't have enough time to do a long search, but yet they knew my skill set would be what was needed at that time. And I said, let me interview you to see if this is what you want. Because I knew that I had put in the time, and Dr. Roper and Superintendent Holliday said, just sign the paper. And I signed the paper, and I have been blessed.
Wow.
Ever since, because I feel that it was God's doing. And when he's done with me, Dr. Roper, I'm okay with that too.
My goodness. So that's a great segue to Dr. Roper, because this is wonderful that she's actually come back after being a student at Oakwood College, now Oakwood University. You're also alumna of Oakwood Academy, and I think University. I'm not sure. I can't remember all that. But tell us about the history of Oakwood Adventist Academy. How did it begin? And was it already in existence when Principal Dent came and started as a freshman here at Oakwood College?
It was. First, let me say good morning and thank you for having me on.
Good morning.
Everyone that is on this morning is tied to Oakwood Academy in some way, including you and I, Donna. We talked right before we got on, and you're an alum as well. And then our students, there are a couple on here that are currently attending Oakwood University that went through the academy. So they have ties, the tentacles run deep. We have some students who are graduating. We have some students who are still currently there. And we also have Dr. Pollard. I understand his kids went to Oakwood Academy. I think
very much.
His kids went to Oakwood Academy. So it's all of us that are on this line, and the tentacles run deep for Oakwood Adventist Academy, and we're happy about that. When we talk about the history, and Dr. Pollard knows this, and maybe some of our students do, in 1896, we use that term, and we say 1896, we use it for the university when the university started. But I don't know how many people realize that actually it was Oakwood School. It was actually training for secondary schools as well. In the beginning, it wasn't just a university or a college, as we would call it. It was actually training for high school students as well. And that occurred for about 20 years. It wasn't until 1917, I believe, if my memory serves correctly, that there was a distinction between the academy and the actual college. And so when we use 1896, we're really talking about Oakwood Adventist Academy, quote unquote, as well as Oakwood University. Am I right, Dr. Pollard?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And those pictures, I'll just add, when you look at those pictures, I mean, we lose it today, I think, Principal Dent, but these were very young people, 14, 15.
Yes.
These were very, very young people, and they look old because the pictures look old, but they were 14 and 15 and 16 years old who were showing up here, that original 16 students.
That's exactly right.
And those students were brilliant. I remember them in the dorm. They were some studious young people at the academy who were in the dormitory during that time.
Mercy. A lot of history there. And it, you know, one of our oldest living alum is Ernest Rogers, E. Rogers. I hate to say his age because I might get it wrong, but I believe he's 103. And he graduated in 1939. 104, thank you. He graduated in 1939. So you talk about history, we have a living legend among us still. And every time I see him, I let him know that. And we're proud of him and what he has done. And we just use his name because he's part of our legacy. But Also, Dr. Pollard, in that time, I understand from history, I hold on to this in my mind. I understand that tuition at that time, Ms. Dent, was $14 a month to attend the university at that time, or the college at that time. $14 a month. Our kids the young people I see are smiling and
unbelievable.
Because,
for
really
everything. We're not talking about lunch. We just talking about
and my entire quarter was $365 a quarter at Oakwood.
Wow.
We had 4 quarters, $365.
Mercy. But to answer your original question, it wasn't until 1981 that Oakwood Adventist Academy actually had broken away from the college, and we started meeting in the J.T. Stafford building. The Board of Trustees actually allowed that separation to continue or to go forth. And it's been that way ever since. We went from Oakwood Academy to Oakwood Adventist Academy, and that's what we are now. And we've been operating that way for a number of years. So if you haven't been to our new buildings, our new facility, our new academy, our new middle school, our gymnasium, our cafeteria, you're missing a treat. So that's the history of Oakwood Adventist Academy. And like I said, our veins run deep.
Now, has the mission changed? And is it the same today as it was back then? Or what is our mission?
We use the term DNA, OAA in my DNA. We use that a lot. And that comes from our mission, is to develop, nurture, and affirm. And that is the mission and the goal of Oakwood Adventist Academy, to develop our young people, to nurture them and affirm them from when they leave Oakwood Adventist Academy. Wow. And Principal Dent is doing an excellent job in upholding that mission for us.
Wonderful. So now, when it started way back, it was basically for African-American students to help them get an education. But today we have some wonderful students with us today. And we know this is just a sample of what comes through Oakwood Adventist Academy as far as our students. So what does the student body look like now? And do you have to be an Adventist or even African-American to come to this school?
Absolutely not. We're looking for students. We're mission driven, be you Adventist or Baptist, Catholic, Episcopalian, Black, white, Asian. We are looking for students who can develop in our program, where Dr. Roper mentioned, to develop them, to nurture them, and affirm them. We're not proselytizing them. We want to teach them and teach them how to maneuver, not only here on this earth, but prepare them for the earth made new. So anyone that we know that can fit into our program that we're trying to develop, we will take a look at applications, we'll look at their skill set, we'll look at how they learn. And if we are able to offer it to them, we accept them.
Wow. Wonderful. So we want to get to some of these students here that are joining us, some former who have graduated and now at Oakwood University, and some getting ready to graduate on this weekend. So let's hear from them right now and find out, first of all, how do you feel your school year went through COVID-19, through a pandemic? And so let's start out with Jewel. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I meant to go. I'm sorry. I meant to go with one of the students who are in the school right now. So let's go with Caleigh. Sorry.
So this year has been very hard for me, honestly. After switching, I used to be a virtual student last semester. So after switching from virtual to traditional, because, that's where I'm more comfortable. I learn better when I'm in the classroom. So after making that switch, I do feel like I performed better. I had a better interaction with my teachers, with my classmates. So I did prefer that, but even being traditional, it was still very hard because I wasn't able to interact with my classmates that were virtual. So there was a disconnect there, but overall, I feel like I performed well and everything went well after I moved traditionally, just because that's how I learn, but it was still a very hard year.
Now you're being very modest because I know you're an honor student, right?
Yes, ma'am.
How did you manage to pull that off in such a difficult time? As you said, it was difficult, and all the transitions and modifications you had to do to really just be successful.
Let me tell you, it took some sleepless nights and a ton of hard work to try to get all this stuff in. But I mean, some days I don't even know how I made it, but I'm glad I did.
I know. We're going to talk about something else that you're doing. Let's hear from Mehari first. And tell us, Mehari, how your school year has gone with Oakwood Adventist Academy through this pandemic.
Uh, for me, it was pretty interesting. Of course, I like to learn traditional when around all my friends and around the teachers and just in the environment to learn. So going virtual was pretty difficult for me.
Mhm.
Just learning off of Zoom and then the long hours on Zoom and class every day, it really puts a lot of stress on you.
Mhm.
But I was able to make it through this year. I'm excited for next year.
Wonderful, wonderful. So now I want to bring in our graduates, the students that have graduated from Oakwood Adventist Academy and now are at Oakwood University. Tell us about that transition and some of the things that you were able to do at the academy that really prepared you to be successful in college at Oakwood University. And really, it doesn't have to be Oakwood University. That's just where you are. Anywhere you could have gone.
Well, hi. I'm here. I'm a rising senior at Oakwood University now. And since I came from the academy, I knew so much about my campus. I knew so much about the people I would be interacting with, especially since in high school, I was able to take classes on the university campus. When I came to Oakwood University, I felt like it was just an extension of the home that I already found in Oakwood Academy. And Oakwood Academy did a really good job of preparing me for the major I was going to be in. I'm a biochemistry major. And the part of the reason I'm a biochemistry major at all is because of the STEM education I got at Oakwood Academy, doing science fairs every year, being able to go to regionals, being able to go to state. Those are the things that really impacted me and my decisions to become a STEM major. So I'm forever grateful to Oakwood Academy for that.
Wow. Eryn, let's hear from you.
Yes, I definitely agree with Jewel. Definitely the dual enrollment program really helped once I actually got to Oakwood. I took so many classes. A lot of my gen eds were taken care of because I took so many of them in high school. So once I actually got to college, I was already taking classes in my major. So yeah, I really appreciate Oakwood Academy for shaping my my major in college.
So all of the students, or at least two of them, have mentioned STEM and dual enrollment, which I think is like one of the major attractions for Oakwood University. Can you all tell us, Principal Dent or Dr. Roper, how these programs came about and what do they specifically offer to our students?
Well, I'll say that due to, first of all, we wrote with the support of Dr. Vanterpool in the biology department at Oakwood University, who partners with us every year of building this program. We wrote a grant last year with her help, and we won $10,000 for the grant.
Wow.
Then COVID hit. And then we continued to work with our robotics program after school and during the school hours. And so we had to put a lot of the science fair, we had to put a lot of that on hold. But some of our teachers came up creatively to do science fairs virtually, especially our younger children. So we're rebuilding our program next year in the fall because we are returning full traditional next year to be able to work toward building our STEM program, building our arts program where we have STEAM, but building that again. So I want all of our young people to know it's not on the back burner. Some things we had to put on hold because of hands-on activities that we could not do during this pandemic. Dr. Roper, if you have any more to say, that's where we are, and we'll continue to partner with our professors at the university, and we are so blessed to be on this campus. with the brilliant
definitely.
minds
I was,
on the university who want to help young people be successful.
that's right. And I want to just say, right now publicly to Dr. Pollard, thank you. Thank you for the dual enrollment and program.
You're welcome.
It is a wonderful opportunity for those that are listening that don't know it. Maybe you have a young person that is in Oakwood Academy, maybe not. Maybe you're considering Oakwood Adventist Academy. The program works like this, and I don't want to give specifics because I might get the numbers wrong, but students are allowed to take certain courses at the university, and they can get credit for their academy course as well as at the university. There's a major stipulation. Ms. Cotton will appreciate me saying this. They must attend Oakwood University after they graduate in order for the credit to count, or they could pay for those courses to transfer them somewhere else. So that's very important. So when you look at it that way, it's a pipeline. It's a feeder, and that's why I'm thanking Dr. Pollard. It's a feeder to the university.
Yes.
And it also, like Jules says, it allows the student to get acclimated in their junior and senior year with the university, get comfortable. They're on the campus. They start to know the teachers. And in the case of Eryn, like she stated, when you walk into your major, you've completed your gen eds, and now you're walking right into the university your freshman year. Pretty much, if you take advantage of the maximum allowed courses in the dual enrollment program, you can walk in as a near sophomore. I think Eryn walked in and she had 30 plus credit hours. So you're walking in as an advanced freshman, and then you start taking your major courses and you have a leg up. It's a wonderful opportunity. And here's the most important part. I hate to say this, Dr. Pollard, I'll close your ears, but it's free tuition, right? Because you're actually paying for those courses while you're in the academy, and the university is allowing us to use those courses at the university level. So you're not paying twice, you're paying once. For a course that's going to count in both places. So wonderful program. I really appreciate it. And the students are really taking advantage of it. And I know everyone on the line is taking advantage of. All the students that are on are taking dual enrollment classes. I think Caleigh might be the point total getter. Caleigh, how many courses have you had and how many credit hours to this point?
I think I have about 26 currently.
26 currently. Wow.
That's amazing, isn't it? Isn't that amazing? That's
amazing. Dual enrollment classes too. He's taking dual enrollment classes. And I'd like to throw in, Dr. Pollard, we have 3 students from Oakwood Adventist Academy who also have been accepted into the MITH program at Loma Linda University.
Oh, wonderful.
And our seniors this year didn't have the opportunity because of the pandemic, because they accept juniors. Miss Haley White, Mr. Andrews, and Ms. What's the baby girl's name?
Buckner.
Buckner.
Oh,
Cameron Buckner.
Cameron.
We have 3 students and moving forward. And we have a junior class president and we have a senior class president here. And they're about moving. They're the movers and shakers. And they represent Oakwood Adventist Academy well. So I am just grateful for the dual enrollment. I'm grateful for, because of what they've learned, we are able to recommend them to programs like the MITS program. And they accepted all 3 of our children who applied. So I'm proud of them, and I'm proud of what Oakwood Adventist Academy and the dedication the young people have put into their education.
Donna, I want to thank, of course, affirm everything that's being said, especially around the dual enrollment program. For parents and families, it's a wonderful opportunity to get a running start on college and to cut out some of the costs of college. I mean, it's just a magnificent, it's a win-win all the way around. Many of our listeners know that I spent a number of years working at Loma Linda University. So I want to say a little bit about the MITS program and why this is so important for Oakwood Adventist Academy. About 20 years ago, Dr. Leroy Reese, who is the founder of MITS, M-I-T-H-S, it means Minority Introduction to the Health Sciences. And what it is that it's a 3-week, well, it was back when we started it may be a little bit less now. It's a 3-week simulation of medical school training. That's the easiest way to describe it. They take coursework. Of course, you have some recreation on the weekends, but during the week, we had students who used to come sometimes, and I worked with it for 10 years. My office sponsored it, actually, along with the School of Medicine. We had students who were coming. They thought they were coming for a vacation. In fact, you're studying anatomy and physiology. I've forgotten the other course. There's a speed reading. Anybody who's taken it knows it's work. But again, that's what medical school is like. And I know that, Mehari's dad is a physician who went to Loma Linda University. So we're grateful for that. But it's work, and it's a 3-week simulation, but it's invaluable because it gives our students every understanding of what medical school is like. It's like drinking water from a fire hydrant. That's what it's like, taking a drink from a fire hydrant. So now here's my point. Why Oakwood Adventist Academy is so special. Dr. Reese and I used to fly all over the country, and we went to every academy every other year, except there was one academy we made it a point to go to every year, and we always had great outcomes. And that was Oakwood Adventist Academy. It's the only academy in that 20 years that 15 years we did the visiting and the flying, that we came every year. And we always got great students coming out of Oakwood Adventist Academy. So young people, you make us so proud with your diligence and your dutifulness. You just make us so proud. And we're honored to serve you. The Bible says, I've called you because you are young. And that's what he wants. He wants young witnesses to make a difference in the world. So that's MITS. Congratulations to all of those who've been accepted. And of course, Oakwood Adventist Academy, you turn out such great products. I'm sure we could have filled the whole class. Yeah. We could have filled the whole class with it. Yeah. So thank you.
So Dr. Pollard, one question for you. Is this unique dual enrollment? Is it unique to Oakwood University, or do other HBCUs offer similar programs?
Some other HBCUs actually do it. We even have a few Adventist institutions who actually do it. So it's really kind of avant-garde in terms of reducing some of the cost to families for higher education. Higher education has come under much intense fire because of the questions about return on investment, and of course the debt load that actually happens with higher education. So this becomes one way of helping families kill two birds with one stone, as has been so beautifully described this morning by Dr. Roper. You can kill two birds with one stone. And that's a wonderful asset and benefit to families. And of course, an advancement to the student, because suddenly the student has much less coursework to navigate when they come. But we do want you to take a full load now when you come to Oakwood, because we want to get you out. Right? Yeah. We want to get you in, and and your parents want you to get you out of there. So please take a full load and don't lose credit. Don't lose time because you had such a great running start. That's important counsel.
And Dr. Pollard and Principal Dent, in addition to all of this academic excellence that is offered at Oakwood University, you do have some extracurricular activities. Can we talk about that, or maybe have the students talk about what's happening outside of all this wonderful academics? Anyone? Caleigh, Mehari?
We got some athletes on, I know that.
Yeah, we have basketball, we have volleyball. We actually are starting a golf club.
Oh, wow.
Next year. We've already started it, and it's wonderful. These young people out with golf clubs is just great. We have, and Donna, you've been with our yearbook.
Yeah.
And all of you to know that we received an award for our yearbook last year.
Yes.
Thanks to Donna and her team. Caleigh's on the team. We also want to start a carpentry club, or even a carpentry class. And that's vitally important. Of course, we have the robotics, and there are other activities we're planning as we bring on new staff next year, but the young people can talk about their experiences. I know Mehari was on a wonderful basketball team, on this basketball team, and they got a chance to travel. We worked it out with such strong leadership on the campus to allow them to actually play basketball, using social distancing, doing all of that. His father, Dr. Andrews, made sure our children were tested every Sunday morning. It was just marvelous. And I give them a chance to talk. We didn't have a young ladies team this year, but we did the previous year.
All right, well, we're running out of time, but before we go, though, we do want to congratulate Caleigh Byrd. She is a senior, and give her a hand because she's graduating this Sunday.
Thank you, Ms. Day.
Yes. So we're going to say congratulations to you and tell us about the graduation that's happening. And then we're going to close with you telling our listeners where they can get more information, where they can get their students enrolled at Oakwood Adventist Academy. It's any student that is willing to come to school and work and learn. That's who you're looking for. So can we do that really quickly as we get ready to close? You're listening to 90.1 FM WJOU in Huntsville, licensed to Oakwood University.
Dr. Roper?
Your mic.
Muted.
Still muted. Try it again. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we got you.
All right. If you're interested in attending Oakwood Adventist Academy, you can go to our website, oakwoodadventistacademy.org. That's probably a good place to start.
Okay, his mic is acting up now. So why don't we close or Principal Dent, can you?
That's a good place to start, and that's where you'll find all of the necessary information you need to enroll, the application, the fees, and all of that. And I want everybody to know we even dropped our registration fee.
Wow.
We want to make sure our babies come back because our families have been impacted by this COVID-19, this pandemic. We want all of our children back, and we are looking forward to every last one of our children who did not have the opportunity to come this year to return to be blessed.
Thank you so much. Now, Dr. Pollard, you can close us out for this edition of Inside Oakwood with your final words.
Oh, well, thank you. One day I was sitting at the Oakwood University College Church back then. Pastor E.C. Ward was the pastor, Dr. Roper. And I'll never forget, he preached a sermon about the children of Israel as they were leaving Egypt. And he used a line from the sermon. He was supporting Christian education. And the line in the sermon was a quote by Moses to Pharaoh. He said, "We go with our young. We go with our young." And that's what you see Oakwood Adventist Academy doing. That's what you see Oakwood University doing. We actually go with our young. The investment that we're making in young people is going to reap a harvest, a rich dividend of future service and life-changing and difference-making for decades to come if the Lord doesn't come. Right. So we want to make sure that we do everything we can to pour into them. And that's what my colleagues are doing at Oakwood Adventist Academy. And we encourage our families. When you are thinking about educating your children, K through 12, please consider Oakwood Adventist Academy. It doesn't just work for now, it works for eternity. Amen. It's not just a few years, it's a lifetime of difference. As you can see, look at Dr. Roper and others, the investments that they have made. Look at Donna. Donna went to Oakwood Adventist Academy. Again, look at what we do here, and then look at the product and ask yourself, this is what I say to parents, when you are getting ready, God forbid, but one day, as my old evangelist friend, Dr. George Rainey used to say, one day you're going to press a dying pillow. And what you want to be able to do is to look up to God and say, God, everything you asked me to do, yes, I did it for this child. I did it. It's in your hands now. That's what you want. You don't want to go to that moment with regrets. So families, I know that there are many things that seem shiny and attractive and water being wetter and sugar being sweeter. But nothing is better than Oakwood Adventist Academy for our young people. Please, if you're thinking about this, if you're thinking about sending them somewhere else, please rethink and contact Oakwood Adventist Academy, because you will be pleased when not 16, 17, but when they're 39 and 40, you'll say, what has God done in the life of this child? And that's really what parents live for. That's our stewardship. So God bless you, Oakwood Adventist Academy. We love you, and congratulations, seniors who will be graduating this weekend. May God bless you. I know it's going to be a wonderful event, and may God bless you and protect you. And we'll see you in the fall on the campus at Oakwood University.
Amen.
Amen. Well, thank you so much, all of you, for being with us today for Inside Oakwood about Oakwood Adventist Academy. Join us again for another edition next Thursday, same time, 8:30, right here on WJOU.org.